in celebrity-filled Brentwood, California. With that, we bring in criminal defense attorney Brian Claypool. He practices in Los Angeles County. Brian, good to see you again. Obviously, this is such a tragic story, and Jonathan Hunt points out family members, it's believed, outside the house after this shocking discovery. What's your takeaway so far here?
Yeah, hey, Martha, always great to see you. Yeah, this is a horrific tragedy. Imagine being a parent, you've got to decide whether to kick your son out of the house because he has a perpetual drug habit, or do you fight with him and allow him to stay in the house like happened here. But look, I think what's happening in terms of the legal proceedings, you're going to have a press conference coming up soon. That means that the Chief of Police, Jim McDonald, and the DA in LA County, Nathan Hochman, are going to collectively announce that they have formally charged now Nick Reiner with 2 counts of murder. What do I mean by that? Well, he was arrested on Sunday, but that didn't mean he was formally charged, Martha. Only the prosecutor can charge somebody with the crime and take it to trial. Yeah. That's what we were waiting for. And in California, because this was a warrantless arrest, the DA only had 48 hours to make a decision to prosecute, or else they had to release Nick Reiner.
So we heard from the attorney, Alan Jackson, who we talked about from the Karen Reed trial. He said that his client, Nick Reiner, has not been medically cleared. Is he just buying time here and pushing this off till tomorrow to get his ducks in a row?
I think he's signaling his defense, Martha. I'm not surprised at all. Look, let's back up. The evidence here has to be profound, Martha, for the LAPD to arrest him without a warrant. That means they found some evidence there. Maybe they found the knife. Allegedly, Rob and his wife were stabbed to death. They may have the knife. They're doing fingerprint analysis. They're doing DNA analysis. They're doing blood spatter analysis. They probably have the results of that already, Martha, to go forward with the charges today. And look, Alan Jackson's he's probably going to use a defense out here in California called diminished actuality. Diminished actuality is different than diminished capacity. That was abolished in California in 1982. It's a little harder to prove this, Martha. He's going to have an expert witness, a mental health expert, get up on the stand and say Nick Reiner has an addiction. He's got, for example, schizophrenia or PTSD. And that negated his ability to intend to commit the crimes.
How much is going to focus on any form of premeditation? We heard Jonathan Hunt reporting about how long the window was potentially, how many hours between this argument that witnesses have talked about, and I would imagine they're going to have to probably testify. Some of these people may be very well known who were at this party, who witnessed this fight, and the time of death, because that may go to the question of how much premeditation happened or what he did to prepare for this, or whether it was just a fit of rage, Brian.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, Martha. The autopsy, the time and death, is completely relevant now because it's going to allow potentially hours of time from the argument at Conan O'Brien's house until the actual murders. Why is that important? Because in California, you can't use this, you had an emotional outburst defense anymore, right? That's not going to apply. And if Nick Reiner had, let's say, 6 or 8 hours to go pontificate and then go commit these murders, rest assured the DA is going to say he had time to form the intent to commit these murders.
All right, we'll be watching. As we said, we expect some live announcements from California. Nathan Hochman is the Attorney General there, and we'll be watching to see what he has to say a short time from now. Brian, thank you very much. Brian Claypool.